Hey guys, we've got news for Global on February 9th, and this week joining me to discuss it is MonsterHasho0m. So you can say hello.
Hello, Sinzar, and hello, FFB players around the world.
Glad you could join me this week. So it is the second part of Final Fantasy V, the world's hero Gilgamesh. So, are you just happen to be a Final Fantasy V fan, or because you asked to join the news video, and we didn't really have a scheduled banner or anything. It's just this was the date, and you landed on Gilgamesh. So, how do you feel about Gilgamesh?
Well, um, to be honest, like Gilgamesh has been a reoccurring enemy in Final Fantasy series, and his very first debut was in Final Fantasy V, as I know. And this Gilgamesh, based on what I know, he's the final form in Final Fantasy V if you battle him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
When he comes, yeah, the final form, then he comes back and like saves you from Necrophobe in the Final Fantasy V ending.
yeah,
Pretty cool.
yeah.
Um, so as cool as Gilgamesh is, he is a relatively bland JP breaker. There's not a whole lot going on with him. You can almost tell that Gumi just realizes he's just like a forgettable week because they're not even doing like armory, nothing for his banner. It's just like, let's get this out of the way.
I mean, I checked his step up. It's 21K, right?
I didn't math it, so let's see. So 10, 9, or 14, 18, yep, 21K. So it's even discounted because yeah,
Yeah,
they kind of realize like it's Gilgamesh. He's so
yeah.
cool, but it's just he just doesn't really do much.
Question: how do you feel about Gilgamesh? Since you're a Final Fantasy V fan.
I thought he was amazing in the game. I love the way he kept like wanting to fight and like prove his superiority, but then he kept like losing. And then when he pulled out the Excalibur, that was awesome. And then the whole like he comes back and saves you at the ending, and then he gives you this like it's so hilarious. Like during the Necrophobe fight, in the middle of the boss fight, he pops up, and then he goes on like a 5 minute monologue talking, and the boss is like, "What are you doing?" And then finally Gilgamesh saves you from Necrophobe. It's very funny. It's very funny.
So he's like some kind of a goofy character.
Yeah, he was a little silly in Final Fantasy V. Definitely,
Uh-huh.
he kept wanting to be Bart's best friend during the during the game, but he was like a villain. But he became a friend in the end.
Yeah.
Um, but as a unit, so he's basically just a breaker, and like I've got his JP page open. So he's got a nice accessory. So
Yeah.
81 attack power and then 100 human killer. It's decent.
It's updated, kind of an upgraded version than Guy or Ga, how you say his name?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Guy's STMR is I think 45 attack and 75 killer. So that's way
Yeah,
better. This one's way better for DPS,
way
definitely.
better.
So his JP unit is, I'm sorry, his Neovisions unit is basically just like a copy of his Neovisions Awakening. Obviously, it's slightly better, but he's still got the same one-use Omni cover, the 120 all in peril, the Excalibur for the 85 break. He's got a 30% amplify for himself, an 88 break one time per battle. Which, like, this is so goofy. Like, one time per battle. What is the point? Why doesn't? Maybe nope. Global's not changing it. No global upgrades. So,
Yep, nothing.
jeez.
It's disappointing, like why FF5 characters, they're not getting any upgrades at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's disappointing for the fans.
I know. And just to clarify, he does have 89 defense break on his SLB, which is
Yeah.
infinite duration. But like I I mean, honestly speaking, I got to be honest here. Just to go off track a little bit, I am just so tired of the whole Magnus and or the design where units have these Magnus skills. Like they were cool initially when they were like super powerful abilities. Like for example, Kaito's Magnus makes sense, but to have like everything these days locked behind the magnets, especially on global units, it's just getting frustrating. Cleom was a terrible or example of why it's so terrible. Lots of JP units are that way. I don't know.
Yeah,
I hate it.
yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, the Magnus, it's a one-time thing. I guess it's some kind of so Gumi doesn't want you to, like breaking the meta or breaking the game with a lot of time uses or on cooldown, for example. So they
Mm-hmm.
use these one-time thing, just to, I don't know, like it's a one-time thing. So you don't keep using it consistently every turn.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's kind of it as far as the unit. Like I said, he's got a good STMR. The TMR is you're not going to use it. It's a one-hander. Um,
Yeah.
and he breaks and does dark imperil. That's the entirety of the unit.
Yeah, what I noticed when I checked his kit yesterday, before the news video, I checked his kit yesterday. He does have the exact same thing as the original Gilgamesh that we have currently
Mm-hmm.
in this kit.
Yep. He's
Like
he's
the Omni cover, the All Imperil, and the 85 all breaks. Um and he is one of the 160 Imperilers, but for dark, isn't he?
Yes, he does have 160 right here. Dark resistance 160. 89 defense break. So he's not useless or anything. It's just
Yeah.
it's very generic. It's just like a new version of Edge, Tulian, etc. JP
Yep.
loves just cycling through the elements, and here's the dark version.
Yep.
So,
But I do see you use him in JP content, especially for uh, like Dios's team, for example.
yep, yeah. In JP, he was definitely more valuable because JP just doesn't have 90 breaks. Period for defense. They just don't exist at all.
Yeah.
So in
Yeah.
JP, an 89 breaker is useful. On global, we've got Wilk, Locke, Hawkeye, etc. We've got a bunch of
Yeah.
options for 90 defense break.
But also counting the 160 Dark Imperil, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
So, for people that are like seriously hardcore, well, I was going to say for Dark Visions, he'll probably see use. But then again, people have been saying for the upcoming Diosius Dark Visions, the one that was designed for him, where Gilgamesh did see use in JP, people are saying like Riku can be used there. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't look into it myself, but I just saw a chat. People were saying Riku is good for the next Dark Visions as well. And if that's the case, we're not using Gilgamesh. But, Gumi can always adjust things. So if you're someone that is very, very hardcore in Dark Visions, then you may want to go for him anyway, just in case. Maybe Riku gets nerfed, or who knows, whatever. But there it is. So that's the unit.
Hope, hopefully, I off banner him. To be honest.
Yeah, and his STMR is really, really nice, too.
Yeah.
And the Vision card is like a very funny picture. That's hilarious. Now, the bad news is the Vision card is terrible. Like, absolutely terrible.
It's
It's
for breakers.
Yeah, 100 LB damage breaker only, and then 100 killer breaker only. No flat stats at all, and only 100 base. It's just you're not going to use
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, at all. But you can display it for the home screen if you want.
If I got him on global, I probably would because the art is awesome on it. It really is.
It really is.
And then the event is the raid event, Big Bridge Showdown. You're going to kill this little elephant-looking dude, 1,000 times during the week for some generic gear that you're not going to use. And there is I think this was an exploration by memory. It wasn't challenging, so yay, I guess. And then the other event is the Farming for Kelger. So this is the free unit of the event, and just like Reno and then Sonin from the Yuffie event, this is the same thing. You run the stage, and you run it a bunch of times. Do you think Global is going to make this cheap like Reno was, or expensive like Sonin was? What's your prediction?
hopefully it's not like Sonnen. I think it's like uh, sorry, not Sonnen. Reno. Hopefully not like Reno, but more like Sonnen probably.
Oh, you think it will be? So it'll
Yeah,
cost like what was it, like 4,000 energy or something to max them out?
not much energy as Reno was. I think Reno was a lot, right?
Oh no, no, you got them backwards. Rena was maxed out very, very quickly and cheap. Sonnen took a huge amount of energy
Oh.
to max out.
Then Reno then. Hopefully like Reno. I mean,
Mm-hmm. As far as
and
go for it.
yeah, based on his sprite, what I know of him is he's one of the four warriors of Dawn, and he is Rocket Raccoon in my way I see him.
Yep, he is a werewolf. As far as the unit, he's basically just like Sonnen. He does, mid tier to low DPS. He does want things like Titus's STMR, etc., for his optimal damage. You're gonna use him in the EX stage, and then just never again. Honestly speaking, uh, his STMR is decent-ish. It's got human and plant killer, 65 flat. It's okay. I've used it a few times in JP, mostly for the plant killer, but that's all right.
Yeah, the plant killer is something, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And then the stage is Silver Crowns for Lena. This is where you're probably going to use Kelger if you don't have a Final Fantasy V modern unit. But Kelger solos this by himself. Well, I mean, with some support units, but I mean, he's all the damage you need for this event. And yep, it's for Lena's Silver Crowns. And what they do is they upgrade her LB, they change the field to, on the ally side, it adds like an amplify field. I forget the percentage, I think it's like 25%. And then the enemy side imperils. Her damage is still not super great, even after the crowns. Like, it doesn't really save her, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, crowns so far for units. I mean, even for upcoming JP units that are coming soon to global. I mean, are they even worth crowning
Uh,
besides Sephiroth?
yeah, exactly. Some of them are Sephiroth. Sephiroth's crowns were very good. Dark Reign's crowns are very good. Vlad's crowns are decent-ish. Like, they're not. His personal damage is still relatively low, but they give him a really good Dark Imperil field, which we didn't have before. Or we didn't have a good one. We have Renoa, but Renoa's damage is absolutely not worth it. And Vlad, gets okay-ish damage, not great. Other than that, thinking of it by memory, the rest of the crowns are kind of underwhelming. Like Aphmaw's crowns did absolutely nothing for him. Was it Kurisame's crowns? I think basically didn't do anything for him. Yeah, so most of them are still underwhelming, but a few of them are very, very good. Like Dark Reign and Sephiroth are the two shining examples. But yeah, she gets some abilities. She becomes better, but still not usable. And then the final of the 12 race trials, the Iron Giant. And unfortunately, this is another one extremely, extremely easy, like the Octomammon. If you do the fight correctly, you're going to take 0 damage whatsoever, and he's just very bulky. So bring up strong DPS, take a few turns, and that's it. By memory, I haven't done it in a while. You need an evasion provoker, Mirage for the party, and a way to seal magic either every other turn or every turn. So basically just like an evade provoker using Mirage and Nethicite, which like the 7-star ace does all that at the same time. And yeah. And then the rest of the party just does their thing. And that's it. It's
So what I understand is this trial on JP, he is the bulkiest of the bulky. He's the bulkiest one, isn't he? The last one.
I think no on JP the bulkiest by far is Rafflesia, the plant. The plant on JP is definitely the hardest one to kill in the time limit, because on global the Rafflesia got nerfed. He got his resistances lowered. On JP they're still really, really exceptionally high, and that makes him incredibly hard to kill in the time limit. This guy was pretty easy, honestly. I did him on day one and got all the missions. It was not really a problem at all.
I checked your videos. His attacks seem similar than the old, same as the old Iron Giant, isn't it?
Yeah. He's basically very low effort here. Yeah, these 12 race trials, all of them, there have been one or two good ones, but most of them have been really disappointing. Like Archeavavius was terrible. Stroper was completely worthless. Dullahan was interesting, but way too easy. And then we got into the new ones where, Death Machine was, well, on JP it was insane. On Global it ended up being just killed by Esther. But, etc. Like most of them have been just poor design, either too easy, either just goofy design like Death Machine, or etc. I think a few of them, like I enjoyed Belphegor. I thought he was pretty fun, and one of the other ones. Which one was it? Not Gloomwing. I can't think of. I enjoyed one of the other ones. I can't think of which one it was. It's one of the ones after Gloomwing. My mind is blank right now. I can't think which one it was. But one of them was I thought was pretty fun. But then you've got the versions like the Octomammon, which was just goofy, take Water Veritas, and the Dark Dragon, take Flame Veritas, and this one, take 7-star Ace, and he negates the entire fight. I don't love that. I don't like designs that are so completely trivial. Now, that being said, after the 12 race trials ended in JP, they started doing the elemental trials. Those are a lot more interesting and a lot better designed. I very much enjoyed those trials. You might have seen my videos for the Dark trial, the Thunder trial, and the Lightning trial.
I've seen those.
Uh-huh.
They seem interesting.
Yeah, those are way more fun because they're actual fights. They're dangerous. You've got multiple enemies. They've got a sort of decent AI, and there's stuff going on. It's not like the Iron Giant where you just use Mirage and laugh at him and nothing happens. They're more fun. So hopefully they stay on track and we get those starting in April or March. Actually, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Depending on Gumi, I mean, based on knowing them right now, I mean, they take a while to release content.
Yeah, that's the thing too, because when these trials come on time, they're even though they're like, I don't want to say nerfed, but they're easier on Global just because Global has more options. Even if the trial releases exactly as it is, it's going to be easier on Global just because we've got a bigger unit selection to build a team from. So
Yeah.
exactly. So when they delay a trial on top of that, then it feels really bad. We really had that problem back in the Chamber of Arms days. We got Sheraton on time. Then I think we had, what was the name? Aldhira on time, the second one. And then we went like 7...
Alpina, I think.
Alhina, yeah. And then we
Yeah.
went like 7 months on Global where they just stopped releasing them. And then they came so late. They were so power crept and they were just a joke. And that's not cool. So hopefully they don't do that again here and they release the trials on time. Don't release them 6 months from now when we've got, Squall, for example. Take Squall to the trial due next and it'll be really easy. We don't want that. We want it.
But funny that you mentioned Squall. We still don't have some of the series boss trials on Global, where they are on JP.
Oh yeah, those I think are probably at this point not going to come because it's 7-star content. But yeah, we skipped Ultimecia, we skipped Ultima Weapon, we skipped what else do we skip? There's a few others we skipped.
Necro, what was?
Oh
his
yeah,
name?
Necron from Final Fantasy IX. We skipped that one too.
Yep, and Cloud of Darkness.
Final Fantasy 3. Yeah, we skipped a bunch of them. I don't understand why, because those were. I don't want to say they were interesting, but it was nostalgic. But they were definitely really easy, even on JP. But yeah, trial on Thursday. And then we've got a live stream on February 12th, which is was it Saturday, I think. So this is pretty much your heads up that next week is probably going to be Clash of Wills and a global exclusive. Any predictions what it'll be?
Okay, so on January we had the Lunar New Year unit, which is Cleon, which was disappointing to be honest. And this time, hope because it's not a limited time unit for February, hopefully it will be something good. Hopefully.
You say it's
And
not. You say it's not a limited time unit, but Global loves their limited. What if it's like Valentine's Day rain or something?
oh yeah, that would be terrible.
But I guess we'll find out. So we do have Hiroki coming out again. So I used to say that, when Hiroki comes to the video, it's like a big deal. But then again, he came for the last stream, and he actually wasn't even part of the information stream. He just did like the game stuff, and then he just
Yeah, yeah, I saw that live stream.
and
He
then
was just there for the game show, and then he handed out, producer's gift, and that's it.
and then he didn't even stick around for the actual information. But
Yeah,
he's gonna be there again. So we'll see what happens.
yeah. Another spicy food to consume. Or spicy drink, or anything.
Oh Lord, we'll see. And that's pretty much it for the week. Other than Dark Vision still going on. Speaking of Dark Visions, while we're here, have you actually cleared it yet, MonsterHasho0m? The current Dark Visions?
So the current Dark Visions, I did use your team with the Riku build. Mine is EX2. She's at 185 shards currently. I'm putting her in the shard dungeon so I can at least reach to EX3 by hopefully next week, if I can make it.
Mm-hmm.
And the max chains I got is 188, and that puts me in rank 237, and it's still fixed. Like no one got past me or anything.
Nice,
I,
nice.
cou- I, cou- I couldn't reach 230 chains, and I keep missing like one big bomb or one fire grenade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is incredibly RNG. I personally have not really been rolling it since that video. The funny thing is, I did like 10 attempts to make that most recent video that I did that showed the updated team. I did like 10 attempts, and then I showed, in that video, I think it was like 172 or something chain. The funny thing is, I uploaded that video, and then I went back for like 5 more attempts. Literally, the first attempt after I uploaded the video was that 230 chain I got. I was so, I was happy I got it, but I'm like, I wanted this in the video, but it just wasn't happening. Like I got tired of rolling, so I just uploaded the video with the 170, and then the very next try I got 230. Now it could go as high as I think it's like 264 or something like that is the maximum that you can realistically get. But I am not chasing that. That is too much effort to roll that all day long.
Yeah, too much effort and headache just to try to get the perfect roll.
Mm-hmm. The highest score that I've seen someone post in Discord was 47,000 or 47 billion. So
the damage, I've seen that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was either Trapdoor or Liv Dilly's team, or I forget who it was. But someone shared like 2 days ago. I'm not entirely sure if someone has passed that at this point. I haven't really been keeping up with it. Like honestly speaking, when it comes to Dark Visions, like the first day of a new boss on Dark Visions, I'm like all in it. I'm hanging out in the channel. I'm doing my teams. But after like the first day, I'm just done with Dark Visions. I barely even go to the channel anymore. So I've not been keeping up with it and following it. So I'm not entirely sure who the current rank 1 is. Do you know?
Current rank 1. On my friends list, it's Liv. I'm not sure anyone got past Liv. Robot is below Liv. Robot
Oh.
DA.
Yep, it is just all RNG, and that's kind of why a lot of the top players are a little unhappy with this because it's just not so much like skill or gear or units or spending money. It's really just pure luck of the draw, and it doesn't feel great when you try your hardest and someone else wins just because they got a lucky roll.
Yeah, And what's disappointing is most players don't have Riku, so that's also something.
Oh.
And probably the units that you need on your team, like Ash, for example, or Nicole. So people are trying to think of swapping to a different element than water. So yeah, they're gonna have a hard time, trying to reach top ranks. And most of the top ranked players, they have like Riku at EX3 plus 130. I mean, not many people have her at EX3 yet.
Yeah, so it's kind of bad too because like there's really no alternative if you don't
Yeah,
have Riku. Because if you don't have Riku, like the best team possible without Riku is something like 16 to 17 billion damage, maybe as high as 20. But
yeah,
like you're not getting anywhere near that 30 plus like the Riku teams are getting.
yeah.
But we have gone somewhat off topic from the Final Fantasy V news video, so it's fine though. But we should probably call it here. So thanks again for joining me, MonsterHasho0m.
Thank you for having me, and it's great to be on the news video with you. And again, I really appreciate watching your videos and guides, and happy to be here.
Awesome. Glad you could join. All right,
Thanks.
so talk to you guys later.
See ya.